Welcome to the Fan Club YouTube channel. Please make sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment down below.
Welcome back to episode 2 of the Playoff Frenzy. Heck of a week. We're not wasting any time today. We're getting right into these games because there were some absolutely insane ones. Let's send it over to Yelly for Dallas, Colorado.
That one was a little upsetting as I'm a Stars fan in that series, seeing them go up 3-0 and letting it kind of slip through their fingers there, letting Colorado come back and then ultimately beating them in OT.
Well, I
That
think
pissed me off.
3-0 lead in first.
It's tough.
that's a tough.
The Stars forgot who they were going against. You know, we watched that Jets versus Avs series very closely, and every time the Jets scored a goal, the Avs were coming back. Those guys don't quit, and they can score at any time, and then they slap the Stars in the
It's
face
almost
in
like
that
they
one.
play better when they're down a little bit.
Yeah, they get
a little
hungry.
fired up,
Little
and
fire.
Even when they're down 3-0, they'll just they still had scoring chances.
Yeah.
They never
Yeah.
let up.
So I watched the first period, so I saw all 3 goals by the Stars, and then I just flipped the TV off, expecting that it was going to be a cakewalk. And then we come back to the office, and I didn't know the score until Frizz says, I don't know if you remember what you said. You're
I
like,
was like, what the? I just pulled up the app just to double check, and then they lost.
sucks. That's really defeating if you're on the Stars.
I'm just glad I don't sports bet anymore.
So
you know?
I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but have they lost every game at home now? The Stars so far in playoffs.
I think so.
I think they've
Yeah,
lost
they
every
have.
game at home.
They
That's
have.
tough.
That's not good. But
So opposite.
yeah, that is so opposite. And we had one of our good buddies from Superior there that was sitting like 5 rows from the
Yeah,
glass
he
during
had
that
good
game.
seats. They're pretty good.
So, yeah, can't count out Nate Dogg and McCarr's show, as my notes say.
The Nate Dogg, unstoppable. What else happened? We had another game. Let's send it. Game 1 last night in the West, Vancouver, Edmonton. You know, Hyman scored. Is my mic on?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hyman scored very early, right?
2 minutes in.
Couple
ish.
minutes in. So right when that happens, you always think all right,
Yeah.
loyal to the oil. They're ready to go.
That was
Hyman's
a
already
sick
on the
goal
board.
too.
A couple minutes later, they take a 2-0 lead, and I did the same thing as you in the other game. Went to bed.
Turned the TV off. and went to
Turned the
bed.
TV off. Wake up. Check my phone this morning, and it said the Canucks won 5-4.
They were up. Edmonton was up 4-1,
4-1.
Wow.
and I thought there was that game was going to be a blowout, but then Vancouver scored, make it 4-2, and then I kind of stopped watching, and then I looked up at the score this morning, and they won 5-4.
Yeah.
But Vancouver's building was rocking.
Oh yeah, I saw a bunch of. One of my buddies was there, and then I saw some Insta stories and stuff.
Yeah.
Loud.
I might get trash for this, but I think that Vancouver just looks like a tiny team. Watching that last night, they don't look compared to Avalanche or Panthers, they look tiny. They're tiny players.
But yeah, but
Maybe it's
their
their
blue
movies.
Maybe. They're soft.
It seemed like it. I mean,
They're
they
playing
got
a
a
little
bunch of
soft?
soft players.
Oh.
They got a big
Sorry to
defender.
the Canucks fans out
Loyal
there.
to the oil.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, did you guys see what happened in Penticton, BC?
No. Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
with the famous Canadian pizza joint, Boston Pizza, apparently
staple.
they had a sign that said, "Let's go Oilers." In
that's in-
Penticton, BC. So then someone DM'd them and was just shredding them apart. We can probably pop the DM up on screen for the micro, but so someone DM'd them and were shredding them, and then they were saying oh, we're in Canada, we can cheer for everyone or stuff like that. And then they're you're on BC soil, and now you're gonna lose your BC customers and stuff like that. Then I guess the next day they switched it to "Let's Go Canucks."
They got
Power to the
persuaded 'em.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Customers always right.
They bullied Boston Pizza.
Yeah.
They're changing their loyalty.
Yeah, that series is probably the least I'm tuning into out of all the series. I could care
Why
less
is
really
that?
about both those teams. I like McDavid, but outside of that, like I'm not too much of a fan of the Canucks or Oilers. Like from a team wise, I'd rather root for.
I think
few
the
other
biggest
teams.
reason we ain't watching it is because it starts at 10.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's the.
See, I
that's a
always
tough
like
part.
those ones on the weekends, though. It gives you something to stay up for late.
If you're at the bar or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was
Never
Wednesday.
usually there.
Well, last
but-
night was Wednesday. I wasn't
Yeah.
at the bar.
No.
You may have been.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think the Oilers will come out of that series. Hopeful.
I just want to see a good series, like a good battle of Canada there. I mean, it was nice to see that Vancouver didn't show any signs of quitting yesterday when they were down 4-1.
Oh, I saw a stat. I can't remember the exact details. So, as for fan club true fashion, we're going to give you half the actual truth.
You guys got to correct us.
Until we get corrected. But I think this is the first time in 30 years that there's a scenario where there's a Canadian team guaranteed to make it to the conference finals.
Mhm. So that was my question to you. Is like, as a Canadian-born guy, if they're like since after the series there'll only be one Canadian team left, is every Canadian rooting for that team or what?
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, I'd definitely say so. Unless you're a fan of one of the American teams already, but like when Montreal made it to the Cup final in the COVID year, everyone was cheering for
Yeah.
So
Montreal.
you guys
I was
really
gonna
just
say
cheer for
that.
the greater good of hockey. in
Yeah.
Canada.
When was the last
Yeah.
time the Cup was in Canada?
Like 90s, I
Long time,
think.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
You guys
Ever
have a
since
lot less
Bettman-
odds.
When Bettman came into power.
Batman.
Yeah.
We stole your sport.
Dude, yeah. How many Canadian teams are there total?
I think 8,
7 or 8.
7
I
or
thought
8.
there was seven.
You guys got
7.
harder odds stacked against you for it to be in Canada. So
Yeah.
it might be another 20-some years.
It would be
see.
cool to see a Canadian team win it, but I don't know.
That'd be pretty crazy for that.
Just for the city.
The city, yeah. Every Canadian would be happy.
It'd be good, but we always like to say what's good for the league is better.
Yeah.
So
Utah,
gotta be somewhere else.
Utah's gonna win it before a Canadian team does.
Canadians will always cheer for hockey.
Yeah.
They don't need a cup to cheer for them.
No,
That's why we love them.
Yeah.
Batesy will get the RBC Cup before a Canadian team wins.
Let's head to the east in the Big Apple. Couple of crazy games between the Rangers and the Hurricanes. It's been an intense series so far. Trouba almost killed a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on there?
Basically two teams that faced each other a lot in the regular season and always kind of went back and forth. They're pretty similar with their top end, I would say. I think the Rangers have a little more depth on D and a little more star power on D, but they're both very high-skilled teams that like to battle, and they always went back and forth in these last two games, and the double OT really proved it, that how evenly matched they were. And not only that, they were also on one of those games that we all hated, special teams.
So a lot of penalties.
One of those games where there's a lot of penalties going back and forth. So it's that's really when you see the top end
Poor
guys get a
Rempe.
lot of ice time. And, oh yeah,
Yeah, he
Rempe
didn't get
didn't
many
play like
shifts.
the last third.
He didn't play his shift
Yeah.
in OT.
Nothing.
He didn't play in
no.
the third. I don't
Yeah.
think
Did you see him take
Wow.
a face-off?
Was it bad?
That was funny.
He's probably really
No,
tall
I think he
for the
won it.
draw.
Yeah.
He went out there to
Giant.
take the draw at Sunrise.
Yeah, he went. So earlier in the second game, someone, can't remember who, maybe Svechnikov or something, he took out the New York goalie from behind the net.
Mhm.
Oh, I
Tripped
saw
him?
that.
Completely like
Svechnikov,
sideswiped his
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah.
So then, like a few minutes later, Rempe goes down to the other end and he stops right in front of Carolina's goalie and kind of gives him a slight nudge to the chest. And
Yeah.
then
Says watch out.
the boys didn't like that. That's what started the first little bit of the scrums, and then it just kept going from there.
That I'm gonna mispronounce his last name. Trocheck.
Trocheck.
Him and trying to think of the guy on American, former college player.
Fox.
No, on Carolina. He's a forward on Carolina. One of their better ones. He used to play for Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Gensel.
Gensel. Him
yeah.
and those two guys are like like legit going after
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other, and the announcers were like saying that and stuff, that like their like animosity towards each other has just been growing in this series.
Yeah.
So
I've been
yeah.
seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter that Marner's got to take after Gensel's playoff play.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
just
he's been
to-
getting roasted because Gensel's stepping it up here in playoffs, and
Uh-huh.
Marner kind of just like,
fizzled.
yeah, didn't
But
do much.
Yeah, the Rangers though, like things are going great over in New York, and I think we actually have a guest ready to chat live from New York.
Yeah, our first Playoff Frenzy guest. Coming at you live from New York, we have Overtime Megan. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good. Here, it's an exciting time in the sports world. You're from New York, aren't you?
I'm from Boston originally, but I'm not a Boston fan. I'm a New York girly through and through. The last few years I've been living here, so I got the New York teams on my side. So it's been a joyous time in the city.
I would say so. I think I saw a record that the Knicks and Rangers are 8-1 at MSG this year in the playoffs. You guys are all
It's-
spoiled.
It's crazy. I'm every single night there's a game, and we've had home turf the last few days, so it's just been electric here in the city.
So beyond just like going to the games, because I would imagine that you've also been to handful of Knicks playoff games. What's like the energy just around like New York City? Is there like a bunch of people walking around with jerseys on and full on just playoff mood?
Oh yeah, it's funny because when I first moved here about 6 years ago, we were like the bottom seed. We were like the 11th seed. We were always at the bottom of the standings. We never even had hopes for playoffs. You know, it was always season over and cut and that's it and see you next year. But the fans have always been loyal. So now it's kind of like all that hard work and all that excitement about the team and being loyal to the team has paid off. So like everyone's out rocking their jerseys. I actually saw like a mom and daughter just rocking their jerseys when I walked out of the gym. So it's just like everywhere. Everyone's like so happy just because, you know, this year I think actually might be our year. And for both of our teams in Madison Square Garden to be doing so well is just like, it's just so unexpected, but it's so pleasantly unexpected. So it's been pretty amazing. I can't even think of like a better word to describe it other than electric.
Well, I know you mentioned that we met last year, kind of around this time in New York at I don't know what they called their playoff
Playoff
Palooza or something.
Playoff Palooza.
Yeah,
Palooza.
I mean that was buzzing, and that was just for the first round, I think. But this year, double the hype. They're getting even better. What has been your favorite moment so far between the Rangers playoff push?
So I definitely, not last night, 2 nights ago, you know, the guys, it was double overtime, right? It was double overtime, and just seeing them the way that they pushed through the game and everything, and just seeing like the excitement, and also the first game that I went to, they scored, I think it was 3-1 in the first period. So it was absolutely like we started off on an absolute high. So like that was pretty exciting to see game one. You know, they started off 3-1, and you know Igor's blocking shots, and then game two is when they went into double OT, and it's just so amazing to see the guys like pushing through because you know playoffs is exhausting for these players, and it's so hard to push through, especially when you're on a 2-0 lead. Like you got everything riding on your shoulders, and especially considering last year we had a 2-0 lead, and we kind of let it slip through our fingers. This is like the crunch time to prove like, hey, we're here, we're back. It's redemption era here.
Yeah. So just to rewind it a bit here, how did you get into liking hockey? Where did that kind of enjoyment for the hockey game begin for you?
So I've been a huge Knicks fan for a couple of years, and you know, I go to the Knicks games and I sit with a lot of the people that, you know, work at the Madison Square Garden, the network, and just all the front office guys. And someone mentioned to me once that, like, you should come to a Rangers game. And I remember being like, you know, I don't really know if the hockey culture is for me. I don't know if I'm going to be that interested in it. And boy, was die wrong. 'Cause I made it my whole personality. The second I went to a Rangers game, I was like, hello, I want to ride the Zamboni. I want to be good at hockey. I have my own sticks now. I have like 5 pairs of skates at home. All it took was for someone to offer me tickets to a game, and I went. And thank God for that guy, because now I'm absolutely obsessed. I'm a huge Rangers fan. I love being a part of the organization as well, working for them. So it's just super fun, and that's where like the love of it started, because New York Rangers, the environment there is just its own little culture, its own little world. And Madison Square Garden obviously is just such a fun arena to watch games into. So it just feels like home, and I love being a hockey fan. I would say it's probably my favorite sport right now.
Oh, wow. There you go.
That and basketball are always teetering for first place.
Mm-hmm. So I know you just mentioned it briefly there, that you have enjoyed being part of the organization, and you've kind of built your personality around going to these Rangers games. So what is like you attending a game? What does that look like? Are you like creating content and like for just like your personal brand, or what's that look like?
Yeah, so it's a lot of just content curation for me, especially. There's a lot of value in putting a face to teams nowadays, and that's why you see on a lot of teams' social medias, the official pages, they're inviting influencers, celebrities. They're giving their brand a personality and a face, and that's kind of originally what the idea of it was 2 years ago when we started this, or when I started working with them, is pretty much going to the game and just kind of putting like a fan perspective on the content, because it makes it relatable, it makes it fun, it's showing behind the scenes. It's not really so much like interviews, like the typical style that I would normally do. It's really just kind of showing like me as a fan and my perspective, and how much I love the game and I love the Rangers, and just putting a face to the brand. But yeah, it's pretty much just TikTok talking all day long.
Yeah, we speaking of those, we watched a few of your latest ones, marching down in the rain. You're a true dedicated fan, and then the Jumbotron, the background in the Jumbotron, that was funny. Did someone like send you that, or how did you find that?
So that's actually a funny story, because that was my second time getting on the Jumbotron that night, and I had taken my brother-in-law to the game, and I gave him my phone because the cameraman's right in front of me, and I know I'm about to go on, so I'm like, here, can you record this for me for my TikTok? And he didn't press record. And so I was like, hey, listen, I was like, brother, it's all right. It's okay. Like, there's plenty of other games for me to go to, plenty of other Jumbotron opportunities. I wasn't mad about it at all. But then the irony is that I had a couple people then text me from their TVs at home. They're like, we just saw you in the background. And it made for an even funnier moment, because, the announcers are kind of going off in their serious mode, and they're locked in, and there I am just screaming in the background. So everything works out. But yeah, I love my Jumbotron moments. I think every hockey arena I go into, Golden Knights, Panthers, I'm always trying to get on the Jumbotron, and most of the time I succeed.
Yeah. So I got kind of 2 rapid fire questions for you here. One is, who's your favorite player in the Rangers? And the second one is, this one's probably a really stupid question, but who do you got winning the cup?
I got my Rangers winning the cup this year, and I'm really hoping for it. I really want to touch that Stanley Cup with all of our guys' names on it. But my favorite player, I love Igor. I love our goalie. I'm a huge Igor fan. But for on the ice, Mika Zibanejad is just like electric. He's absolutely fire. He kind of reminds me of Jalen Brunson on the Knicks, so I'm using that comparison there. So I'm always betting on him too. So he's probably my favorite player. I gotta get a Mika jersey. I don't have one yet. Pretty sad.
You got to get one of those. Well, Megan, thank you so much for joining, and we hope that we can connect in possibly round 3 if the Rangers move on. We get an update then.
I think so. All right, I'll see you guys soon. It was great talking to you.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good.
See ya.
Bye.
Good work, boys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, OT Megan.
Now we got now we know what the setup is for call-ins.
That was a
Yeah.
perfect call-in
Yeah.
setup. Good job with getting that idea out of your brain, Frizz.
The screen record
Yeah.
classic.
Good to get back in there.
Yeah, we didn't know how it'd go. I didn't have much room left on my phone. I had to quickly delete a few important videos and stuff, so
That sucks. Never get those back.
Never, ever.
Don't let me
go.
Don't
let me go.
You watch TV?
You know that commercial?
No.
You don't like that one NHL
all I know
commercial.
is
What a pro wants.
What a
God.
bro needs.
Worst
Oh,
commercial
that-
ever. Worst
so bad.
commercial
That's
ever.
every other commercial break that one's on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
at least.
Don't
What a
let
bro
me
wants.
go and
What a bro needs.
Yeah.
When you
so
sent
bad.
that Snapchat of that, when you videotaped it, I had that same, like, I was thinking that for days.
Yeah.
How
It's been on there
stupid
for-
that
I had
commercial
like
is.
over 10 people like reply to that and be like, yeah. One of my friends said that he purposely records it every time and sends it to his friend that hates it more than he does.
just to piss him off.
Maybe
That's
you should
funny.
do that. That should be your little bit. Send that in every game.
Post
No,
it
I
on
just
your
turned the
story.
TV
I think we should
completely
just-
off
we
and
should
wait
have
2 minutes.
this weekend we're gonna have a counter. Who can see the most? What a pro wants?
Yeah.
What a bro
Yeah.
wants. What a bro needs. So what do we end off with? Rangers and Carolina? Did we finish
We
that?
did. Yep. And thank you again, Megan, for coming on. It was great to get some more NYC insider.
Yeah, we.
Good time for New Yorkers.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that'd be really fun to get to a game with her.
So what we learned is MSG's rocking like crazy.
Every
The
night
city,
almost.
yeah, the city's going crazy with Rangers Knicks fans, and the Rangers seem to be almost unstoppable right now. We shall
Almost.
see.
Almost. Double OT.
Yeah,
Hurricanes are there.
their fingernail away.
They're there.
They just
Yeah, they're going
they
into
gotta stay out of the
Raleigh,
penalty
though,
box.
the
Gotta stay out
storm.
of the box.
What do they call it? The storm.
Surge.
Yeah.
Storm
Guy,
surge.
guy to storm.
Yeah, they're going in the
Eye
eye of the storm.
That's probably
Mm.
tonight, hey? Oh, let's go down to Raleigh.
That would
Bar
be fun.
taco.
I hope the Canes come out flying today.
Well, they'll have to.
See a good
Do it
series.
today. This game's like
Do
a
they
do
play
or die
today?
game.
You do not want to go down 3-0,
No.
especially at your first game at home, back at home.
Yeah, you count that series basically goodbye when you drop down 0-3. Just kiss it goodbye.
Yeah,
'Cause
they
that's
play.
tough.
And just for those listening, this is Thursday night, so we won't be able to recap that game, but
Let's put our predictions in.
we can put a prediction in.
Cud?
I don't know. I want the Canes to win this one.
Yeah.
Just keep this series a little closer.
Yeah. Give the fans a little
I want to
spark.
see
Think everyone
Carolina
wants Canes.
rocking.
Let's go
yeah.
Canes.
Caniacs.
Everyone's going Canes
Let's
here
go
in the room.
Caniacs. Let's go Jarvie.
Raging Canes.
Jarvie
See,
Hattie.
even
Jarvie
though-
fan club ball.
Even though like we are fans of teams and we want certain teams to win the series, we still like Will said it. We like the greater good of hockey.
We cheer for the greater
Yeah.
good.
We want a little back and forth action for the fans at home. We'd like to do that so some fans, they feel a little nervous going into the game.
The greater good.
Yeah.
You guys are good people. Good people for the game.
You're good people, Vin.
Good peeps.
Who else we got tonight?
Oh, we got
Oh, whoa, whoa,
couple
whoa, whoa,
games.
whoa. We got to talk about last night down in Fort
Crazy.
Lauderdale.
Let's go.
The brig, the mayhem, the bedlam. Saw a bunch of words
Scoring
on Twitter last
frenzy.
night. It was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Good game, fun game. Swayman got pulled. Marchand was in the mix.
Yeah.
It was just good.
The-
I still think Swayman just got pulled to rest him.
That's what.
Probably.
Yeah.
He'll be back in.
Jim Montgomery didn't even do anything in the third. He just sat there. Was like probably getting
Dude,
wanted
same
game
up.
The
to be
camera
done.
guy zoomed in on his face, and he was just like,
I know. He was like.
The announcer's like, he's got a headache right now.
Yeah.
I don't blame
yeah,
him.
you can only ride that coaster up so far.
They were
before
playing
you have
every
to
other
come
day
down.
for like 2 weeks, I think it was, or like week and a half. So yeah,
Yeah, that game
Bound to
got
happen.
quite rowdy. We even got our first tilt in the NHL playoffs this year.
the Panthers made them look like little boys out there. The Boston, like they're obviously a really good team, but holy cow, did the Panthers bully them last night?
Yeah,
in
Montour.
all areas of that game, dude. They had like almost 85 hits.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
the most in.
Holy. Didn't they
NHL
get like
playoff.
40-something shots?
Yeah, they just like dominated.
Yeah, it was like Boston had like 15 shots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was just
They
total
were
tilt.
awoken.
So yeah, it got to the point where
it
the
was
refs
weird
were.
because like the first 10 minutes was all Boston.
Yeah, that was their last
It was
push. and
super weird. They just truly ran out of fuel.
Yeah, 100%.
There's like 280 penalty minutes in 2 minutes.
Well, that's what the announcers were saying. Like it got
Just
it
get 'em
got to
outta
the
here.
point where the refs are just handing out 10 minutes to
Yeah.
protect the players and just to kind of
They did a good job with that.
get the game over with because
Yeah.
they weren't coming back.
I know that's such a terrible feeling when you're down that much and there's still 8 minutes left in the game.
It was like there was a stretch of time where every whistle there was a scrum and like at least 2
yeah.
people got kicked out.
Yeah.
How about Pasternak
Yeah.
and Kachuk?
Yeah, he's kind of
Oh,
he's not a
stop
good
that.
fighter.
That was old school.
I'll
right
give
there.
credit to Pasta. For
He had
going
to.
after
That was
him.
he
Yeah.
hadn't fought since
Stepped
like
up.
2018.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Frick. No
Did you
wonder
see
why he
his-
looked a little rusty
And
squaring
If
up.
you watch closely when they're like kind of wrestling on the ice, you see a rat was thrown at
Yeah.
them.
No way. Did it
As
hit
they
him?
were fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Florida obviously has all these rats they throw after every game, so someone tossed
Do you
it
think
on him. and they were
Kachuk was
fighting.
in the wrong? People said he
Nah.
punched him when his head was on the ice.
No.
I don't know. I mean,
Pasta did get him back though, so
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter.
See, that's one of those
Yelly
fights.
loves sticking up for Kachuk.
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah. Did you see Kachuk Senior? He was just like he was kind of like, what the hell?
Big wall.
That was one of those fights where it was from pure like hate.
He had
Just
to.
hate.
Angry.
Wait,
Because, like,
is
there's
Pasta he's assistant or is he captain?
Assistant.
He's assistant.
There's fights in the NHL where it's like you're sticking up for someone and like it's like expected and it's just kind of like a courtesy respect thing. This one was from pure hate. Those guys were.
Did you see the
going
coach's
at each
interview
other.
after?
Yeah,
they
those were
both loved
amazing.
it. Yeah.
That was Paul Maurice beauty. Loved it.
That's what he said. Beauty.
No,
or just,
he was like,
Oh,
he's
It's
like,
like, you know,
Awesome.
It's the time of year where the
Awesome. It was
coaches
awesome.
ain't gonna not have their players' backs in playoffs.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
If you
See-
don't have your players' backs in playoffs, your team's not going anywhere.
See, I like Pasta. I think he's like an amazing player, but he was not a good fighter. I hate to
It
say
looked
it.
like he got off balance and then
Yeah, well, he tried
as
to
he was
switch.
falling down, Kachuk just popped him.
He just
Oh, yeah,
looked,
there's
he
a
looked
funny
lot
slow-mo.
lighter than I thought.
Yeah.
yeah, he did look
ragdolled.
light.
The funniest slow-mo was like he like switched, and that's when he got off balance, and so he was kind of in like a really deep
like a
squat.
squat, yeah.
and
And
Kachuk,
then-
thankfully, he hit his visor, but he
Yeah.
like literally popped him, and
That
that's
could
when
have
he
been
flew.
a KO
Yeah.
right there.
He looked like his legs kind of gave out.
Yeah.
Poor
yeah.
Pasta.
Oh well.
What's your
he's okay.
predictions for Game 3 in Boston?
Ooh, that's gonna be the best
Tonight.
game
Oh, that's
3
good.
What?
I think
ever.
that
Tonight?
it might be.
Tonight, Friday night.
Oh.
I think
Big
that
game.
might
Let's get some
be
predictions.
the. I think that might be the loudest game of the year of the playoffs so far.
Bloodbath. That'll be a
I
bloodbath.
think that
It will
I
be-
think they're gonna. Those Bruins fans are gonna be foaming at the mouth.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Is there a lot of hate there between
Oh,
the
yeah.
Panthers and Bruins right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Settle old scores.
Well, I'm always gonna root for Panthers, so I want to see them win, but I think it's gonna be a bloodbath.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
a physical game. I can't wait.
It's anyone's game.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see this
It's gonna be
live,
like a
but
2-1.
the that who's the whatever the person between the benches and the Glasser said that the Frederick, who was like part of that first crew that got kicked out, he got up for the face-off and looked back at the other like 4 guys on the ice and said, "We're going." Next whistle, that's when like all the scrums really started happening. So it's to that point now where they're band of brothers going
Yeah.
in there.
Oh yeah.
Band of brothers.
Band of brothers.
God,
It'll be a
that's
good
what I
game.
love about hockey.
Good game.
Well, was an awesome week. We were spoiled for the last 3 days watching games.
Yep.
Looking forward to the weekend games.
Yep.
Going to be absolutely awesome. Rocking. Friday night, fight night in Boston.
Yep.
Carolina, New York. It's going to be sweet. Maybe
Mhm.
McDavid will get a win, too. He needs to score, hey?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't
He doesn't
play
shoot
so
much
well.
shooting the
He
playoffs.
needs to kind of score.
He does not
Still
shoot
has
much.
one goal.
Dishing up apples.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Setting up Hyman, the highwayman.
Who am I to tell McDavid how to play?
Yeah, exactly. Who are we to say
You're on the
McDavid
coach.
needs to shoot more?
Who the hell am I?
I just said McDavid needs to
That's
shoot
messed
more.
up. I'm sorry, Connor.
What other news is there in hockey?
Well, the draft lottery happened.
Yep.
And the San Jose Sharks won the first overall pick. And the Rice select Macklin Celebrini.
Yeah,
They needed that.
big time.
Poor Macklin.
I was watching that with Dave, and it was so anticlimactic when they just
The
turn
lottery?
the thing over.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Like they don't even do the ping pong.
the ping pong balls is
anymore.
cool.
Yeah, they literally just go like this, and they just turn it over, and then like
So is it
it
rigged?
has the 3 GMs, and it showed like the 3rd GM, like Anaheim, I think it was, or Columbus, Anaheim. They're just like the GM just like this because
No.
he got 3rd, and then it's like then they don't say number 2, they just go right to number 1.
yeah, the
and
lottery.
then, like,
They need to find a
the-
different
the
way.
The ping
to
Black-
pong
Blackhawks-
ball is actually
Yeah.
like a little anticipation.
Yeah, the Blackhawks, Kyle, our buddy, he's smiling like this, like Dave's like, oh, they got it. He's smiling, and then just shows the Sharks, and then the Sharks GM, like, then he like got up and celebrated. But
Come
there was
on.
no like music or
So dumb.
anything.
So
and,
it was
like,
just literally the 3 GMs sitting there.
That's so awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awkward.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Awkward.
Well, good news for Macklin Celebrini and maybe his family is that, do you know that his dad is a trainer for the Golden State Warriors?
Didn't know that.
no.
Nope.
That's a crazy crossover.
And San Jose is
Right there.
Yeah, wow.
So maybe it worked out for
How the
him.
heck does that
He's a
work out?
basketball trainer
Yeah,
and he's
insane.
got a
Yeah.
kid going to the NHL.
There
That's
was a little
odd.
thing last night about him before the game started. And when he played for the Chicago Steel and his dad and the Warriors traveled to Chicago, Draymond Green went to a game.
Like a
Chicago
Steel game?
to watch Mac.
That's
Shut the heck
hilarious.
up. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Wow.
Draymond
Cool.
Green. That's cool. Yeah, that is cool.
So-
You went to my old hockey rink then, Fox Valley Ice Arena.
There you go.
I can say Draymond Green was in my
Draymond Green's
childhood
quote,
rink.
His quote was like, "You don't have the opportunity to see Wayne Gretzky or Sidney Crosby play at 17 years old much." Whatever.
Classic,
15
eh?
years
Yeah.
old.
He's predicting that he's going
He's
to be the next
predicting Mac
Sid.
was going to be the next Sid.
That's hilarious. Good for Draymond for understanding.
Yeah, good for the Celebrinis.
Yeah,
The
that
whole
too.
family will be in California.
Yeah.
Not bad. Also, there is some other news.
Mm.
Sheldon Keefe has been fired.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Toronto.
He did. Well, just right now while you were sitting here?
Yep.
I knew that was happening.
Wow.
And
At
Bonesy
least I predicted
retired
that.
Jets head coach.
Couple vacancies in Canada.
Frick.
Batesy can go right from Winkler to the show. There's some
Yeah.
job
How
openings.
long
He's
did you
gotta win the
say
RBC.
Bonesy coached for, Will?
Mosey?
50
Yeah.
years.
Long time. 34 years. I
Yeah.
think.
Wow.
something like that.
So Sheldon Keefe
People have been
Keith.
calling for him for a while.
got fired finally. Wow.
That's the thing in Toronto.
It's hard.
Keefe.
Where do you think he's going now? Is he going to be a coach at another team?
You always wonder, like, what happens with coaches. Like, sometimes they'll go to an assistant role. Sometimes they'll go down to college or
Yeah.
MBA. But sometimes they just take, like, a few months off and wait till the next guy gets canned and you fill in.
Step right in.
Yeah.
Dang. Not
It's a revolving
surprising.
door.
Yeah.
Dude, not to go back to this topic, but there is a lot of hate for Chuck on Twitter right now.
What are they saying?
For
Like cheap
hitting
shot,
him?
cheap shot, cheap shot. They're going to be
Yeah.
coming after him hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, just to get back to that game, because another crazy stat from that, Barkov had, I don't remember the exact point totals, but he had like a good amount of points in the last game, and he also had 10 hits.
Dang.
10?
I think it was.
They probably just said go out there and crush them.
Let me just double check, but it was a lot, and his stat
That's
line was
sweet.
like a really just like unnatural stat line that you don't see often.
That's sick. Good for him.
He looked really good out there when I was watching that game, dude. He just like freaking dominated. Barkov, 4 points. Oh, they adjusted it, but it's 6 hits. He had more than that for sure when they put it
Mhm.
up. 4.6 hits.
Wow.
Yep, that's the game to watch. Is tonight, Florida Boston. It'll be very entertaining. If you're not so much a hockey fan, I would tune in anyway because you'll be entertained. It's going to be a heavy hitting game.
Hockey.
I got some questions
time of
here
year.
for you boys.
Yeah.
Some no bad playoff frenzy questions. Will, why is it
Yo,
best out of 7? Why is that?
guess that's just what they decided on.
I-
Seems like a pretty fair number to have to win 4 games.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. But
yeah, and it gives each team 2-2 at home right off the start.
Yeah.
So if it was any longer, that would just it would beat the piss out of all the teams. And if it was shorter, it's too quick, and maybe you don't see something that would.
You're not
The-
Will.
Oh, sorry, Will.
What
I
he
think
said.
funny.
well with five, like you see teams come back all the time. So like with 5, they wouldn't get that chance. It'd just be done.
Last question. This is open for everyone, starting with Cuddy. Who is your favorite player out of any team that is still in the playoffs right now?
That's a good question. I'm going to have to say I like Barkov.
Barkov. I like it. None of your Winnipeg boys are in. Who you got now?
I think just a fun player to watch is Montour. Or
Yeah.
What do you do last night?
Swaggy Verhage. Well, Montour, even last year when we were watching him live, he was just the man on the point, just buzzing up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
He did the tongue thing last night.
Yeah,
'Cause
that was hilarious.
Marshawn lick someone last
Yeah.
year,
Well, that was like a while
or
ago.
maybe
was
a
a
few
long time
years
ago,
ago. He was sticking his tongue out at him.
He sellied right in front of him too.
That was
Yeah.
sick.
Big bad Brad.
I think I know who Will's gonna say.
Nate Dogg.
Oh, it is. I was gonna
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
McDavid.
Nate Dogg is more fun to watch for me.
Yeah.
Actually, you know who I really liked to watch last night was Hughes. Quinn
Yeah.
Hughes. He is such a good
Hughes is good,
skater.
too.
It's so hard for people to get the puck away from him.
But also, I
Smooth.
really, really, really like Trocheck for some reason.
He's a gritty player.
Uh-huh.
He's a fun one to
I
watch.
like
'cause
watching
he
him go.
physical. He's like a Kachuk. That's who I'm rooting for.
Florida. He used to be a Panther.
Yeah,
God, he loved the Panthers.
I love the Panthers.
You guys want to play a little game here? We have
Sure.
time.
We got time.
So I hope you brushed up on your Stanley Cup Finals history.
I didn't.
I was going to, and then I forgot.
I didn't.
I saw your warning, but I didn't.
There's-
I fair warned you guys.
There
but,
is. I feel like there's people that are super knowledgeable at this stuff, like a Trey.
These
Batesy
questions could be
I tried to
really easy or really hard also.
Yeah.
I tried to make it like pretty easy or
Uh-huh.
like around time frames where like there was importance in our lives. So like
Importance.
I'll tell you why. In 2016, the year that we graduated high school, the
Yep.
Americans here, who lost in the Stanley Cup Finals?
2016.
I graduated in 2016.
Did you? Oh yeah, you're a year younger, I guess.
Was that the year the Capitals won it?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
No.
Penguins won.
no.
Penguins won it. Okay, you're on the right track.
Penguins. That's what your prediction is, or do you know?
No, they won.
Yeah, you're correct. The Penguins won it that
He's
year,
asking who beat.
but who did they beat?
Oh.
Because they won it in 16 and 17.
Was it St. Louis? It wasn't
It's-
any Canadian teams unless it was Vancouver.
Nashville was in it once. It might have been them.
Okay, that makes sense. The National made it to a game
They
seven
beat
or
Nashville in one of them,
to Stanley Cup Finals.
I think.
I don't think Nashville's been to a Cup final.
Yeah, they have.
They have, but I think it was.
Maybe a different year.
Let's do
Yeah, it was a
process of
different year.
elimination because will not be Vancouver, can't be Calgary, can't be Winnipeg, can't be Edmonton, can't be Wild.
Was it Chicago?
I don't know. Chicago was already done.
Maybe it
with
was
their run.
St. Louis.
Western Conference.
Maybe it was St. Louis.
St. Louis.
that
Or
is the
Dallas.
Western Conference.
Yeah, I know.
St.
I'm
Louis
giving
or-
you a hint.
St. Louis, Dallas.
St. Louis or Dallas? No, the
King-
Sharks.
Yep. Bingo.
Sharks?
Ding, ding, ding.
Marlowe.
San Jose
wow.
lost.
So that's when
to
the last time they were
Penguins
good then.
in
Yeah,
Game
that
6.
was
Marlowe. Yeah.
Sneaky.
I would not
When
have.
you started listing them
freaking-
off, it's like there's no way. There was someone from the
St.
West.
Louis won a cup around that time frame. I don't know when.
They were like 18,
okay.
I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Nice. Good job. Way to work that one out.
All
That's
right.
good.
Go Sharks.
Next question. The year that we were all born in 97 and 98, what team won back-to-back Stanley Cup? And both series ended in a sweep both years.
Oh, that sucks.
Back to back. I'm gonna say
99 was Dallas.
So would it be Dallas then?
No,
Oh, after Dallas.
2 before Dallas. They were champions.
2 before
I
Dallas.
want to say it's the Penguins, but I'm scared to say that.
What about
That
They have a history of winning a
Detroit.
lot of.
yeah,
Detroit?
it's Detroit.
Yep. Detroit Red Wings. Good job, Yelly.
Let's go.
Good job,
Russian
boys.
5.
Do you want one more? I got one more.
Yeah.
boys.
Might as well.
Oh, that's it, man.
When was the last time the Stanley Cup Finals ended in Game 7? It's more recent than you think.
Yeah, it is.
Did the Knights go game 7?
It's the Kings.
no?
Oh,
Kings
is that
in
when
New York?
Is it Kings in New York? No.
No, New York didn't win.
Who's
Oh, yeah,
it?
It wasn't Game
It
7.
was,
Want
uh,
me to give you the year, and then you
Sure.
guys can get the teams or guess
Yeah.
the teams. 2019.
Oh,
So we would have been
it's the Caps.
Yeah.
Caps went to game 7?
no,
Yeah. No.
not
Caps?
the Caps.
What year were the Caps? 18?
18. So it was a year after that.
So the Blues.
Yep, Blues beat Boston in Game 7.
Wow. I don't
So
really
I always
remember
get those
that.
two confused.
I remember
18
when
and
St.
19.
Louis won.
I remember
was
when they won.
pissed because they beat the Jets to get there. and that's when Binnington had his like rise to fame.
Yeah.
But
Who
I
won the
don't.
Conn Smythe for St. Louis? Oh, it had to be O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Dang, Casey, I remembered the Blues winning. I didn't think there was Game 7 though.
Or Boston.
Yeah, they came back.
Boston's been around. They've
Jeez.
been good for a long time. Sick of it.
Yep.
Wow.
Not this year.
They've been good for over 10 years.
Insane.
It's one of those teams that you just can't think of them being bad ever. Like, I don't know.
Sucks.
I feel like there's two. I don't know. Like, the Hawks obviously were good for a while. Now they're in down years, but
Who was it that
Crazy.
was on the Blues, got traded to Tampa, and then won back-to-back again? Won
Maroon.
3 in a row.
Big
Yeah.
rig.
big rig. Now he's on a
Yeah,
pretty good
Maroon.
team. Dude, he's probably made
Yeah.
so much money in just playoff bonuses.
Yeah.
It's funny to just ISO cam him when he's out there, too. He's
He,
just like
uh,
one of your typical, like,
He got kicked out
fourth
last night.
liner.
He's an
Let's
interesting
go.
skater.
Yeah, that's his
Yeah.
role.
He's a very interesting skater.
So he had to have making way more in playoffs than the average NHL contract. That guy's been between his cup wins and just all the other times he's been in the
Yeah.
playoffs. It's
That's like-
insane.
I'm sure it'll come out once he retires. There'll be a stat by saying his postseason earnings.
Yeah.
High.
maybe he'll retire after this one.
He probably will. Maybe. I don't know. I don't see why he needs to keep going.
Take
Loves
easy,
it, man.
Pat.
Love
Unless he's
it.
got bills to pay.
I love it.
Overtime hours.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all.
that was a pretty fun one today.
That's all for Playoff Frenzy number 2.
And,
We'll see you on Tuesday.
Yep, we'll get another guest lined up for you guys. We'll see what city they're coming from, but until then, good luck to all your teams.
Have a stellar weekend. Let's go, McDavid.
Adios.
Peace.